Because I wanted to talk about Prince. I wanted to ask you about Prince.
Oh.
And I wanted to ask you...
Let's do that now.
Fine. Have you spoken about Prince? I'm sure you had to have mentioned it. And have you acknowledged him as the world-class coxman that he was? Because we could sit here and talk about the musicality and the talent for days. That's stating the obvious. We've all listened to all the Prince stuff, and it saddened everybody. Everybody loves Prince. But have we talked about when we talk about Stickman
right.
and world-class Stickman,
like Burgess Meredith, you go to that level. Yeah.
You got to look at it. He's in the top 5.
Right.
Longevity, quality, quantity.
Lack of information that got out. Nobody knew what Prince was up to.
Nobody knew, but when you saw him, he was always with a dime piece. No matter what. He was never like Morris Day. He wasn't hanging out with Morris Day. If he showed up to the Warriors game, he had a bone crusher right next to him. And then sometimes he would sort of like, you wouldn't hear anything about him, but other men, you knew quietly that if he wanted to dip his toe back in the water at any time, he could unfold the purple loaf whenever he wanted to. Right. He laid that purple pipe for years, from 79. That first record came out through the 80s, through the 90s.
I think in Minneapolis in like the 7th grade it probably started.
Laying pipe with the afro and everything. And I mean, a world-renowned stickman. Quality. On the low to stealth when he wanted to. And then he would get randoms. Like, there'd be like the Sheila E's and like, the Wendy Elise's.
Apollonia.
But then you'd see like all those girls that would be like, and then he got to the point where I don't even think he wanted to have sex with them. I think he just was like confusing them. Like, you're just around me. You don't know what's going on.
It was like he was collecting them. Like I collect uncut sheets.
Like you collect vintage
weird posters. Yeah. That's what it was. So 2 things with Prince. Once, I don't think anyone ever did a better job of having more sex without an A-list celebrity of having more sex without anyone ever knowing what he was up to. He was just Clooney in Lake Como or whatever the hell he lives in Italy, I'm sure was doing some underground stuff, but Prince just for decades. That's 1. 2, and this is what nobody mentioned. Prince was really short.
5'5"?
I think he was like 5'3". Maybe
Muggsy
5'4". I think he was like Muggsy Bogues.
Holy shit.
Name me another short guy that got laid more often by a more quality woman than Prince. It's never happened.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's the world's premier short stick man.
Without a doubt.
I don't even know who his competition is.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, he's a gold standard coxman. Right. Gold standard. And the fact that he doesn't have a will and all that stuff, it's just sad. But I just wanted to just acknowledge that because everybody's talking about the music, and of course we got to talk about the music and the talent. That's the obvious, though. The other stuff is, like the fact that he laid it down since 79.
What I was shocked by was how many young people were affected by Prince dying, because I always felt like Prince was like our generation, and I knew younger generations liked him, but I didn't know like people. I mean, you had like 25-year-olds writing like really thoughtful think pieces about Prince.
They latch on to everything. It's the hipsters, fucks.
But what I was saying was like,
they latch on anything.
We were there for Purple Rain, and that was one of a kind. Not to sound like the old guys on the couch, but like when Purple Rain came out, it was like my head almost exploded. I've never been to a movie like that.
Incredible.
It was like, it starts out with the "Let's Go Crazy" and just all the way through, and Apollonius' boobs are coming out, and it was like, what? What is this? Is it a music video? Is it a movie? What is this?
And the fact that you went to the theater to see it,
yeah,
and he was already a ginormous star. It's just a different time. You can't articulate like that movie in the theater at the time with the anticipation and already knowing that he was that dude. It was just it was an experience going to see that in the theater. As far as the young people, I mean, listen, when we first came out, I mean, you didn't know what the fuck was going on. I mean, he got the most ass dressing like a woman. He was wearing, Caitlyn Jenner's nothing compared to what this guy was doing. Prince was that guy. And he grew and grew and grew and grew and grew as an artist. That's the thing. Like, his skills
it was an androgynous era.
Yes. Bowie.
And Prince really took advantage of it the most.
He did.
It was I remember I never was positive that he was straight until Purple Rain came out.
And even then, like you didn't
No,
know.
you knew.
Well, you knew he was laying it down there, but
A straight guy would have pulled the purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka trick.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That comes from the mind of a devious straight man who wants to have loads and loads of sex.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But he even says, is he straight or gay, whatever in the lyric. I don't know the lyric right now. I'm so whacked up. But he says straight or gay, God or whatever. I don't know. Listen.
Well, he was intentionally ambiguous to get people talking. Yeah,
absolutely.
Which David Bowie was like.
Absolutely. He was Lou Reed.
The one thing that people talked me into, because I always thought, I mean, I have certain hard corners I'm on, right? Like Eddie Murphy is the most talented SNL cast member ever. Like you're never talking me out of that. You're never talking me out of Michael Jordan being the best basketball player ever.
Period.
I always felt like Michael Jackson was the best pop music star ever. And I think I've been swayed toward Prince because when you throw in all the instruments Prince could play, Michael Jackson couldn't play instruments.
No, not like that.
Prince could play like 27 instruments.
And play them. I saw him live one time perform at the Roosevelt Hotel. He was doing these concerts at like 3 a.m, which is so past anything that I had to sleep and set an alarm, but I was like, I'm going. And it was like 500 people in there. And at one point, he was literally like, I could have taken. He was going up to people and playing the guitar. And at one point, I didn't even have to stretch my arms all the way. I got a 37-inch sleeve, Bill. It's a long arm. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's
almost as tall as Prince.
Yeah. It's like my arm is probably the length of him without the heels. Heels, he's got me. But he was playing with it. He came right up to me and made eye contact with me. And I was literally, I could see like how women would be like.
You're just ready to have sex with them.
I didn't know what the fuck. It was. I felt uncomfortable.
You start taking your clothes off.
Right there. And he made eye contact with me. And I swear to God, he knew. Like he recognized, like he did a double take at me. He had the makeup on, and I'm like literally drooling, and I could have taken the guitar out of, and he was like, but you could feel the talent right in front of you, and that was the thing that was so impressive. You could he had that guitar, like Steph Curry has a basketball. Like it wasn't there. Like it was just
35
breathing.
footers.
Exactly.